Hello everyone, I'm Jessica and I am also known as Iekikadragon on Ravelry, and welcome to my little knitting crafting podcast vlog, whatever. This is Knitting Dragon episode 7. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. I know when I'm filming this is a day late and $1 short, and oh my gosh, the fan is on. Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, now you get to see the giant mess in the house. That's cool. Well, that'll stop eventually. But anyway, I know this is a day late and $1 short. I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to post this for reasons, so I thought I would go ahead and decide to film anyway. Because I enjoy it and it's fun. So let's jump on in. Let's start off with finished objects. That's right, you knew it was coming. Oh, I gotta get the finished object. Okay, here we go. So I did finish them. I knew I was going to, right, for this week because I was right at the very end. So these are my Poison Dart Frog socks based on the I'm So Basic socks by Summer Lee. And I did the elongated toe that I learned from Nitty Natty. These are using VK yarns in the colorway Poison Dart Frog. And they were on my needles for 8 days because I did finish the toe the same day as the podcast. Like I figured that I would, but it ended up getting late and I did not finish the Kitchener stitch. So I went ahead and finished the Kitchener stitch the next morning. So I'm counting it as it was 8 days on my needles. I really like how these turned out. I tried on one. I tried them on both feet. But yeah, I did want to wear them before this podcast, but I just ran out of time and energy and all that. So they haven't been blocked, they haven't been worn, but I think they're looking fantastic. I am going to continue this pattern with the other colorways as I go, and then I'll have like a neat little matching similar socks throughout the whole thing. You know, like if you buy that package at the store, they all are different colors but the same design. That's what I'm going for here. There are a few things that I think I'm going to change. So the trash truck's going by, so you'll hear that. You're welcome. The joins, I think it bothers me just enough. I'm going to go ahead and do the jogless joins on future socks. And I'll just do that, any color change. And then, except for the heel, it doesn't bother me on the heel. But I'm going to have to look up, oh, it's the recycling truck. Equally as noisy. But anyway, I'm going to have to look up, do you see this little tiny stitch right here? Like I said, I hadn't done heel flap and gussets really. And this is my first set that I've finished a heel flap and gusset. And this is my first set where I've done a contrasting color in the heel. So that one stitch just kind of stands out from the others. And in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal. So if I can't figure it out, I'll just leave it. But I would like to look up and see if there's a way to make that stitch not stand out so much from the join. And it's on both sides. So it's not necessarily where it joins, it's the nature of the color change. And I did it on all the socks. That one's not as bad. It's a little bit more hidden. But look at that one. That one's enormous. So I don't know. I'll start doing some research, see if I can figure anything out before I get to the next sock. And if not, that'll just be the way it is. That'll be my quirky, how you know they're mine. What else did I want to say? I think that's it. Yep. I now think I'm going to wear these. I'm pretty excited. I think they're cute. I would put them on, but it's a struggle watching me try to put clothing on. So we'll wait. I'll do it after the podcast because I do want to wear them today because it's kind of gloomy and rainy. Just seems like a good day to have socks on because it's normally too hot. So that's my only finished object. Obviously, that it takes me a while to get to the finished objects. So, so yeah, I got them done. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so now we'll go into my works in progress. The oldest one on my needles is the Flirt skirt by Claire Jackson. It has been on my needles for 40 days, 40, and I'm using Malabrigo Susurro yarn. We're just gonna go with that pronunciation. And the colorway is Paris Night. I'm gonna tell you, I worked on this one more than anything else this week, which kind of surprised me, but I hit a mood, y'all. I was in a mood. I needed, I just wanted something that didn't take too much brain power and that was comforting and soft and just nice to work with. So there's my excuse me, there's my progress keeper. Look at me remembering what it's called. For this week, I don't know, I'm terrible at sizes. That's a good like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, since last week. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the progress that I made on it. And it wasn't even an intentional thing. It was just what I needed to be working on this week. So it is coming along. I have decided, because these are interchangeable needles and I do have a connector, so I'm going to connect another cord onto this to make it all longer. So hopefully next time you see this, it won't be so bunched up. Because of the increases, it's getting more and more bunched up. So it'll look a little bit better next time, but it's getting there. It's looking like a nice piece of fabric now rather than just a thing. I don't know. It is coming along. It's getting closer. It's not close to skirt length, but it is getting closer. So that's something. And I'm happy with the progress that I made. What else do I need to tell you this? Oh, well, you know, it's been on my needles for 40 days, 40. And I think this is going to be a long project, y'all. Ouch. It's going to be I'm a fairly slow knitter. I'm not slow, but I'm definitely not fast. So I'm a fairly slow knitter is kind of how I describe it. And this is going to take a while. It's big. So, especially if I want it to go, because the original design kind of is about mid-thigh, and I would like it to be a little bit lower than that, as far as the length of the skirt. So it's gonna be a while. So you'll get to see the slow little progress of this little skirt for quite some time. It's gonna be on my needles forever, especially if I stick to my 3 projects at a time. It's gonna be a while. And as you add more stitches, it takes longer and longer to get around. It's just the way it is, you know? But I've enjoyed it. It was actually a very comforting project and what I needed this week. So it was nice to have it on my needles because that's what my brain needed. So that will bring me to the Get Her Gone blanket, which last week I was really good. And did a row every night and then worked on it on the weekend. And this week, that did not happen. So this is my Get Her Gone blanket, which is based on the Magic Number blanket by, what's her first name? Helen Cosgrove-Davies. And this is where I was last week. And I put in 3 rows. So I did not feel like working on this one this week. I made no progress. It just, it is what it is, you know? I still want to work on this. I still enjoy it. I wasn't in the mood. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you make a lot of progress on all your projects and sometimes you just don't. It was a rough week, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. And especially with all this going on, it is what it is, you know? So yeah, I didn't get anything done on this. This has been on my needles for 25 days. That's way too long for this size of a project. But that's okay because I'm accepting where I'm at right now. I am using Caron Big Cakes yarn in the colorway Toffee Brickle. I hit that wall. I couldn't work on it this week. I was feeling not as generous this week and a little bit fussy and angry. And I mean, if we're gonna be real, I was struggling this week. So, and who wants to put that energy into a gift? So I didn't. So, yep, no progress on it. It's been on my needles. How long did I say? 25 days. So it'll be maybe this week. We'll see. I don't know what kind of mood I'm in. We'll see. Because I'm in a mood today, I can tell you that much. Oh boy, this is me and this is grumpy. Anyway, moving forward. I did cast on something new and you're gonna be shocked. Let's see. You're not gonna be shocked. You're like, what's happening? You already showed us this sock, Jessica. Not quite. So these are going to be my mom's poison dart frog socks. And I spoke with her as I was working on mine and I was so excited about them. And I had a lot of yarn left. And I said, well, you know, I couldn't go out and get her anything for Mother's Day. I can't go anywhere. I can't drive anywhere. And even though there are some stores that are close, I can't even walk that far. So I said, well, how about this? Would you like a pair of socks for Mother's Day? And she said yes. So I said, it'll be just the same as my socks pretty much. And she said that was fine. So I'm making my mom a pair of socks. They're very similar to mine. I did adjust because she's here. So the pattern is by Summer Lee based on her I'm So Basic socks. I did adjust some of the numbers because her feet are different than mine. And instead of doing the contrast heel, because I knew I would not have enough of the blue color, that's all I have left of the blue. I knew I wouldn't have enough. So instead of the contrast heel, I just did one stripe at the top and the toe. And this one is mine. So you see, I've got the two and the contrast heel. So they are different, I promise. So I did get one sock done and I have all the numbers that fit her foot. So I cast on 63 stitches. She wanted a similar size sock and expanded to 64, did the heel flap and gusset. I did, instead of 57 rounds for the foot, I did 55. And instead of the elongated toe, I just did the standard regular, I don't know what shape that is. Polygon toe. I don't know. Anyway, so I got one sock done and I have the second sock cast on. I'm almost through the cuff, not quite. I moved my little poison dart frog over by Joe somebody. I'll look it up and put it over here. I moved it over here just because he makes me so happy. And we all knew progress. I was literally at the toe. I was right there last time. So I finished one full sock and the equivalent of maybe a full cuff. So I will finish this. I knew when I asked her that I would not finish these in time for Mother's Day. And so I informed her of that because they were going to be her Mother's Day gift. So, but they'll be ready hopefully with next week, maybe, depending on how things go. So we don't have appointments this week. So it's a lot of staying home. So there's a good chance I'll get them done as long as I don't get in one of my moods. So I'm gonna put that back in. I've still got quite a bit of red, and I've been contemplating, because the blue is going to be gone. I've been contemplating what I'm going to do with that, because I don't want it to languish, and I don't want it to just sit in my closet, and I don't want it to become just clutter, because that drives me nuts. So I think what I'm going to do is I've been looking up like granny square blankets. I've been looking up stash busting blankets. And trying to find one that I really like. And there was one that I liked that it just alternated a color and then white squares, and they were all granny squares. And I could just make as many as I wanted out of as many skeins. We've been needing a new quilt on our bed anyway because it doesn't fit the one that we have, because we had a different size bed before we moved here to South Carolina. And so I was thinking, well, that'd be great. It'd be getting the yarn out of my closet. It would be stash busting. It would have a lot of memories wrapped up in it, and we'd have a blanket that fits. So I call this a win-win. I'm liking right now the granny square blanket that I just described to you, and I'll look up the pattern and the name and all that if I decide to go with it. I'll even just put it up here, even if I don't decide to go with it. You can see it. But I'm thinking I might do that. And it would just be a fun color. I like color, and it doesn't necessarily have to match. It just has to be fun. So I think that's going to be a good way to use up the rest of this yarn in a fun way. So that's my projects. Was there anything else? My mom's poison tart frog socks have been on my needles for, I think, 7 days, but I didn't mark down when I started them. I just did, because I knew it was a project that so I think it's been 7 days, but I can't promise that that's true. Still using the same yarn the VK yarn, poison dart frog colorway. Yep. And she's been able to try them on, so it's a pretty close to perfect fit, which I think is cool. So that's that. Those are my projects. As far as gaming goes, let's see, I did play Hydrangea Heatherfoot in my Pathfinder game, which we play usually on Mondays, but occasionally on Fridays now. And we finally found, so there were 2 things going on in the carnival. Apparently there was this crazy rabbit prince who was killing people in the carnival and being a terrible halfling, and was trying to get all this power from these cards. And so we found him, and we were able to take care of that problem. The GM dropped us a little hint. I'm fairly certain it had to have been intentional. I don't think he ever does anything like that unintentionally. Of if we messed with the cards, it would bother this guy. And this guy was super powerful, and it would have been incredibly hard to defeat if we had not known that, especially because we were down a member. Quebec couldn't be there that day. So he dropped that if we messed up these cards that I told you about that we kept finding around the carnival, that it would upset him so much. So that worked. I think that's the only reason we were able to win that fight, especially without one of our people. The GM played the other person, but it's never quite the same. He did a great job, but it's just never quite the same as the person playing it. So we did that. We got to the person that we were actually supposed to be meeting at the carnival, and everything just happened really fast. I guess like we were being framed. He went to jail, which we all kind of knew was about to happen from a note, and all this crazy stuff happened. And then our characters became fugitives. So we've been police officers through this whole campaign, and now we're fugitives. So this game, we kind of had a reset. Like we were figuring out what the heck was going on because we were in jail, and how we could get out. We had to figure out how to get out. We had to figure out how to disguise ourselves and how to find people in the Undercity, which is like bad guy land. So we met up with somebody, Bloody something or other was their name, and they helped us get contacts in the Undercity so that we can, of course, with strings attached, right? We're supposed to run some errands for him, and then we'll get to meet our contacts in the Undercity. Anyway, it was a fun game. It kind of cut short for reasons, and it ended up working out pretty well because it was a lot of setup and stuff. And then I think once we have all of our players, it'll be a good time again. So another game that I don't talk about very often is a D&D game. I did mention in the beginning where I play Okesh, the cleric, and we did get to play that one this weekend, and it had been a while. And do you remember last week that I told you how my character Hydrangea Heatherfoot had perished in the Pathfinder game? Well, it turns out Okesh didn't have a very good week either. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's the way I'm playing them right now isn't really working out. So, because nothing else is going on, right? Obviously, I'm level-headed and clear-minded in every situation. But anyway, let's see. Okesh, we got into a big battle. They were going to ambush us, and we had found out about it, so we decided to ambush them. And in true great form, we decided to split the party. Rule number 1, never split the party. It was funny. So 3 people stayed behind and were going to clear out the camp from the back, and me and another character who had the highest AC went to the front, AC being armor class, and kind of provided the distraction. Well, it turns out the really hard hitters were in the front, and so we were pummeled, and I kept trying to heal to stay up because I knew that I was gonna go down, so I wasn't doing a lot of damage. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be out of spells. So I upcast a spell, I did a big spell, I did a decent amount of damage. Not enough, that would have been cool, right? That would have been really cool. Not enough. And then the bad guy hit Okesh again, and she went down. And the team that was on the other side was close to finishing their battle, but not quite, so they couldn't move up to help. The one that was with me was barely hanging on herself. And then, so I had to do death saves, so which is where you roll a d20, and if you get a 10 or a higher, it's considered a save, and if you get a 9 or a lower, it's considered a fail. And if you get 3 saves first, you stabilize and you're just kind of unconscious. If you get 3 fails first, and you just keep rolling until one of them hits 3, if you get 3 fails first, then you perish. And if you get a nat 20, your character gets 1 hit point and you stand back up. And if you get a nat 1, that's considered 2 fails instead of just 1. So I rolled a 9, fail. That's okay, we've still got 2 turns. The people, it's gonna take them like 1 turn to get to me, maybe. And then someone would be able to come up and help. No problem, because they were running. They were dashing. And we go around, everybody's doing their thing. It's looking pretty good. The tables have turned. And I roll again, and I roll a natural 1. So that's it. That's the 3 fails. So Okesh perished. And I said, well, I guess I'll start working on building another character. So they finished up the fight. They were doing things. And it was interesting because I haven't played with a lot of these people before. A lot of them are new. The DM is somebody that I've played with before and one other person, but the rest of them are new to me. So I wasn't really sure how they would react to this situation. So, but then the GM said, everyone just hold on. Sorry, the DM in this case. And we went down to the whisper zone, which, you know, is just a different voice chat. And we went down to the whisper zone and he told me some secrets. And Okesh was able to come back to life. He didn't tell me any secrets. We just had a conversation with somebody who was interested in an Okesh. I don't think anybody that plays this game watches this. And so, yeah, I don't want to give away too much because I guess some of them possibly could watch it. But anyway, so it was interesting. So Okesh lives and she gets to play some more. And I need to buff that girl. That girl needs some buffing. So figure that out. We did level up, so I'm gonna figure some things out. So that was fun. And then my final D&D game where I play Galaith the Barbarian. We did not play this week and it should be back soon. So if you're interested in watching the Pathfinder game, you can watch Pepperial on Twitch. And if you're interested in watching the second D&D game, the one that we didn't play this current week where I play Galaith, you can watch Maan on Twitch. So yes, and that one, the one that Maan streams, is usually on Sundays. Okay, so that's my gaming. Let's see, let's talk about what I've been watching. I haven't been watching much, really. I mean, I have watched some things. The headaches are going away a little bit, so I can watch things again, which is good. But we watched some Resident Alien, but we watched that with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law while they were here. And so they were watching ahead of where I had been. So I guess I saw some spoilers, but it's fine. It was all still, it's a weird show. It's entertaining, but it is a weird show. And then I convinced them to watch some Fallout. So I started watching that from the beginning, even though I haven't finished it. But I do like that show a lot. I recommend Fallout to people. And then I decided for some reason I would watch Dance Moms, which I remember now why I stopped watching Dance Moms and can't watch it. The people on there are so catty and negative. And I don't know if it ever changes, but I'll tell you what, it is, the talent that some of these kids have and the dancing that they're able to do is absolutely phenomenal. But the adults around them act in hideous ways and do things to sabotage these children. And that's just sad. So that's why I stopped watching it. I don't know if that ever changes, but in these early seasons, that's what happened. And so I will no longer watch it. So don't watch that show, in my opinion, but you can do whatever you wish. Obviously, people watched it enough that it's a series that has lasted a long time, but I can't watch people do that to kids. I've been watching quite a bit of knitting YouTube. The Bakery Bears had a podcast this week, vlog, whatever they're called, which I really enjoy them. And the others that I normally watch that I've mentioned several times. And I was watching my fish YouTube because I always like watching stuff about aquariums and how to make a nice planted, almost Volstead type aquarium because I don't use carbon or dioxide or anything. So I'm still learning and growing with that, but I think I've got a pretty good one going right now with my little shrimp in it and all my baby shrimp. So it's fun. Let's see. And yeah, I haven't really watched much, honestly, because I've been more interested in my reading, which I'll talk about next week. So I did get a couple acquisitions, and that is because, you know, it was my birthday and I was given a gift card for my birthday. So here's some things that I got with it. I did end up getting this has been helping me. This is called the book seat. And I set my book in here, and this little plastic piece holds it in place. And it's a, you know, the Court of Mist and Fury is a thick book. Holds it, I can set it in my lap, I can set it on a table, I can put it pretty much wherever, because this is those fake beans. And I can knit while I'm reading. So it's like my worlds have combined and collided, and I can do both things that I love at the same time. So I love this thing. And it comes in a variety of colors. It is ridiculously expensive, I'm not gonna lie. It is, I almost didn't buy it because I think the price is too high. It is honestly too high. But I do love it, and it does work well. So at least there's that. There is a pocket on the back. I guess you could put your reading light, your book, if you use readers or whatever, you could put those in there. And for some reason, there's a handle. So when I carry it around the house, I use the handle because I can't figure out what else this would be for. Why is there a handle? But I do like it. I like it a lot. All right, but that does bring me to some yarn that I bought. But before I get there, I have to talk about a dear, sweet, lovely human being friend of mine. She sent me a couple things for my birthday and Mother's Day. One of these genuine humans that is just one of the most amazing people in the world. Couldn't say enough wonderful things about her. So it's nice that I got a little gift from her, because now every time I see it, I'm gonna think of her. But she sent me this cup. Yes, I really do need all this yarn. And it looks like it's just a black cup, but when the light hits it just right, it is sparkly and rainbow, and it is exactly what I needed. I love it. It came with 2 different straws, one bends and one is straight. It came with 2 tops, one so you can have a straw lid and one that it doesn't. It's just the normal flip open and closed. And I love this mug. So, and then she also got me some socks. And look how funny these are. If you can read this, bring me my knitting. Look how cute that is. Aw, and then it's got yarn and baskets and stitch markers, buttons. Come on, that's cute. These are so cute. So I can't wait to wear these too. I love it. She just knows. I don't know how she always finds perfect little gifts. It's a special talent she has. So thank you. If you're watching, I love them. Okay, so that does bring me to my acquisitions. Hold on. Everything is awkward. Okay, so this was all from my gift card, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't feel bad about it. I know I've been doing the Stash Bus Spring, but I don't feel bad about it. So the first thing I'll show you is I got some amigurumi yarn. And the reason I got this is because I was sitting there, I want to make an amigurumi, how do you say it? Amigurumi? Dragon. I don't know if I want to do it in like a crochet granny square type thing, or just do it in the typical amigurumi fashion. So I've been looking at patterns. I haven't quite settled on one. So I could do red and purple combo for a dragon, or, sorry, gotta find the other one. I could do the greens and blues. This is, oh, that's a pretty good shot. That's more the actual color. And then, yeah. So either would work well for me. Maybe I'll do both. It'll depend on the pattern and how much yarn I need. So I'm gonna make a couple dragons because I feel like it, and it would make me happy, and they'll sit by my computer while I'm playing, and I'll work on them, and yeah. So those are gonna make me really happy. I almost tossed these on the floor, which would have made a pain in the neck to pick back up because I would have had to go get my little grabber because I have a little grabber. And then the other things I got, I bought this yarn. I have never bought you. There you go. That's pretty close. It's kind of this copper color. Sometimes it looks copper and sometimes it's this, the closest color I can think of is gingerbread. So I had this yarn that I worked with earlier that was called gingerbread, and it was not pink and not brown, but both. And I became obsessed with this color. I love this pinky brown color. And this reminds me of it. It's that pinky brown. Sometimes it looks genuinely copper. And it's just, this is the first time I've ever bought yarn with no project in mind, but just because I love the yarn. So now I'm gonna be looking up what I can make with this yarn because I love it. And they only had one skein, which also complicates things because that limits, you know, no, I think that would have made a cute sweater. No sweaters or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna figure that out. It's gonna be further down my list. So it'll be a while before this reappears, but I love this. I cannot wait to use it. I wish, it is absolutely stunning. The twist on it, it's amazing. I'm obsessed with it. And they had another one that was like similar to this color, the greeny blue, that I would definitely wear. So I may be going back. I have a little bit left on my gift card, but I want to look up first what I'm going to do with this. But I'm loving it, this gingerbread thing. Okay, 2 more and then I'm done and then I'll let you go, I promise. Okay, so the next thing is, okay, how do I want to end this? Okay, so what I did was I went ahead and bought another skein of guacamole. They only had a couple left. I almost thought they didn't have any because it was kind of, I think there was 2 and it was down lower, so I couldn't find it. You know what? I decided I liked it enough. It may end up being slightly different because obviously they're all different. So the ratios might be different, and here's what's gonna happen. I don't care. I decided I want that sock. I couldn't at first. I wasn't sure if it was going to hold really negative memories for me or not. But I do. So for lots of reasons. There's lots of reasons of why I want to finish this project. So this one, I have one sock finished in a bag, stored in my closet, and I think it's going to be a while. And I'll definitely have to be in the right frame of mind, but I'm gonna do it. And also, we have a neighbor who has a kiddo that I think she's just so funny and so sweet and so sassy. And when I was originally working on it, she liked looking at it and she was pointing out all the different colors and everything. So I'm gonna make her something out of the rest of this because I'll have quite a bit of this left if I'm only making one sock. I'm gonna make her something out of it and I think she'll really like it, and that makes me happy and that makes this yarn happy again. So yeah, I got it. I was brave. I feel like I was very brave. Okay. And then the last thing I got is the little local knitting shop that I go to called Knit and Purl has started locally hand painting some yarn, which I think is absolutely fabulous. And in order to support that idea and support them, I bought it. It's also called pansies, which are my favorite flowers. So come on. And they do the colors. That's a pansy right there if I've ever seen one. Look at that. So I'll just make socks out of it. It is merino, it is nylon, 75% merino superwash, 25% nylon. I will make some socks out of this for me, most likely, and then figure out what I want to do with the rest. Some of it will go into the blanket, and I'm yeah, I wanted to support everything about this. I wanted to support the local yarn store. I wanted to support their idea of doing their own yarn, and everything about this I wanted to support. So I'm really happy to do so. Yay. Okay. So that's it for today. I don't know when this is actually going to get posted, but no matter what, I thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out with me during this time and sharing this journey with me. So happy crafting, happy gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.